Hi, and welcome to Class 4, the final class of the summer session for Rideau Lakes Yoga in 2020. I wanted this class to be outside because it's really about grounding. If you are able to do this class outside, that would be wonderful, because then you can feel the ground beneath your feet, the unevenness of the ground on which we stand, and the ground that supports us. So that we're able to notice and be aware that we're always moving in and out of balance, finding our balance on uneven ground. That's a metaphor for today. Though I'm on a deck, which is fairly level, we'll be looking at and feeling and noticing, connecting to the earth and feeling grounded and centered no matter what is happening. And with this being the summer of 2020, we've been dealing with the novel coronavirus since March and February. So a lot of people are coming to the end of their tolerance and finding difficulty. Some are finding ease because now we've been here so long that they've got into a rhythm. So today is about really noticing where you're at, being there as best you can, and bringing the awareness into the breath. So let's start with that, bringing the awareness into the breath. As we have the last few breaths, the last few classes, we'll come into a comfortable seated position or lying position to do our check-in. If you're lying on the ground, your feet can be flat on the floor, knees bent to the sky, or legs out straight. If you're sitting into as erect and tall and stable as you can, noticing sits bones on the ground, noticing the connection with the earth, with your back body, or with the legs, the feet, and the seat. Spending a few moments here, simply noticing connection. Noticing gravity holding you here, supporting you. Noticing the whole plane of contact with your body and the earth. Because whether you're on a floor, on a lawn, on a deck, beneath us is the earth, supporting us all. And then noticing the top body, where it makes contact with the spaciousness, the air, the breeze. And noticing, bringing the awareness into the heart center, noticing the expansion of the heart, of the chest as you inhale, and the softening as you exhale. With your mind's eye, inviting awareness of breath from the heart center, inhaling down to the navel center, noticing that expansion. Exhaling from the navel center back up to the heart. Imagining perhaps a silver or gold thread going down the midline as you inhale in from the heart into the navel center and exhale from the navel center back home to the heart. Our navel center, our center of moving forward in the world, our power, our determination. Heart center, where we truly live, who we truly are. connection, peace, tranquility. Each exhale coming home to your heart. Taking a few more breaths in this way. Perhaps noticing the characteristics of the breath, how long or smooth, short, rough, where you expand, where you contract. Noticing where you're warm or cool. Even that sense of connected solidness with the earth and expansive lightness with the air. Holding all sensations, all awarenesses in your awareness. And on the next inhale, we'll inhale arms up overhead or to the sky. And on the exhale, exhale hands down. Bring the right knee in for a hug. Inhaling arms up to the sky or to the floor behind you. Exhale, left knee in for a hug. One more time on each side, following your breath. Then bringing both knees in for a hug. And rolling over to seated. And I'll meet you on the mat in seated position. We're going to start with touching the earth. So coming into any comfortable seated position that works for you, where your sits bones can be on the earth, spine relatively straight. If you have a sitting cushion, then tucking your sitting cushion underneath your sits bones to help raise your hips. And 2 more breaths here, touching the earth. Noticing the expansion of the heart, inhaling up, exhaling, noticing the seat really engaged with the earth. And moving with the breath. So the beginning of the breath starts moving the arms, coming up to wherever is comfortable for you. On each arm, perhaps one arm stopping at a different spot than the other. And on the exhale, coming back down. Exhaling from the navel center to the heart. Noticing the engagement of the abdomen. Inhaling, floating up, expanding. Taking your full breath to arrive. Exhale, hands coming back down, pausing at the bottom of the exhale. Noticing the stability, the connection. One more time. This time we'll inhale our arms up and back, rotating the thumbs back behind you. Exhale, hands forward. Last week we interlaced, or 2 weeks ago, and stretched out. Today you can just bring palm to palm. What feels right for you? Inhaling to open the chest, open the heart center. Exhaling, rounding forward slightly. And we might be getting a bit of a storm, which would be absolutely delightful, but probably not while I'm out here teaching yoga. So let's see what happens. When you finish this exhale, bringing hands to the floor. Inhaling the right arm up to the sky and exhaling over to the left. Inhaling tall, exhaling hand down. Inhaling left arm up and exhaling over to the right. One more to each side. And then pausing here, touching the earth to notice the body breathing. On the next inhale, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhaling the hands down to the floor in front of you. You may come to wherever you're comfortable, hands on a block, hands on the floor, hands on your thighs. Inhaling, arms back up. Exhaling, hands down to the floor. Body dance. You're finding your bow pose here. Inhaling, floating up from your bow. Exhaling back in. And then noticing what knee is in front of you, sitting cross-legged. And this time we're going to go over towards that knee. Pausing here. And inhaling, floating back up. Taking the opposite hand to the knee, and if left knee is forward, left foot's forward, left hand goes back into the twist left. If right knee is forward, right hand goes back into the twist right. Inhaling, arms up. Exhaling to touch the earth. And changing what foot's in front. We'll come back to the bow pose. Inhaling, arms to your comfort zone. Exhaling into your comfort bow. Hands to the floor, head in the direction of the floor. Inhaling, back up. 2 more times. This time we'll bow over to the front knee. So whatever foot's in front, we'll bow in that direction. Staying here for a few breaths. And on the inhale, inhaling back up. If right knee is forward, then the right hand goes back. Opposite hand to opposite knee, coming into your twist. Inhaling tall, exhaling, touching the earth. Tuck the chin slightly, lengthen the back of the neck. Pausing here, noticing breath. Breathing into the heart center and watching that wave of breath as it comes down into the belly expands. Exhaling from the abdomen, the navel center, back up to the heart, home to your heart center. Anytime you're distracted, bringing the awareness back to the heart and this wave-like motion of the breath, flowing breath. And let's come over onto all fours. Starting in your tabletop with a nice neutral spine. Inhaling into a puppy dog tilt, taking the tailbone up, opening the heart, bringing the shoulder blades back, pushing the floor away. Exhale into the Halloween cut. Following your breath. Two more times, allowing the breath to start the movement. Breathing into the heart center, breathing from the navel center back up to the heart center. Coming back to the neutral spine, we'll come into Chakravarkasana, which is starting with the exhale, tailbone tucked, tailbone back towards feet, elbows bend, coming back down into child. Suction cup the arms, pull the hands forward, coming back up to open the heart center. Hinging at the shoulders, knees, and hips. Finding your comfort zone. Pause for a count of 2 at the bottom of the exhale. Inhaling, heart to navel. Exhaling, navel to heart. Staying down in your child. So you might be with your head up, down and your bottom up, or your bottom down and your head up, somewhere where it's right for you. Pausing and breathing and noticing. Noticing the whole chest, belly, ribs, back body expand with the inhale. Exhaling from the navel center back to the heart. On an inhale, coming back up. And we'll wag our tail. So looking over to your right shoulder, wag the tail out to the right, taking the ribs towards the hip. Inhale to neutral. Exhale in the opposite direction. Inhale to neutral. One side contracting, the other side expanding. And on your exhale, coming back into your child, we're coming to flying cow. So for some of you, you'll have your hands beside your face or underneath your shoulders, and others will have their hands on your low back. On the inhale, inhaling the chest and the belly away from the thighs, the seat away from the feet, the hands go out to the side and come up overhead. Exhaling, hinge back down to your starting point. Hands on the floor or to your low back. Flying up. Curling down, bowing down. Strengthening the back. Arms are moving in your comfort range of motion. One more time. Pausing in the up position. Taking the weight onto the left knee, we'll take the right foot forward, well ahead of the knee. And the hand can be on the thigh or on the top of the knee. Inhaling here and coming forward so that your pelvis and hips are working towards the front leg. Now the knee, the ankle may be right underneath the knee at a 90 degree. Hands can be on knee. Exhale from the belly to the heart center. So we're gathering our energy in, gathering our strength in. And coming back up, taking that knee down to the floor and transferring. Left knee forward, well ahead of the left foot forward, well ahead of the knee. Inhaling to come forward, front femur's pressing back, back hip is pressing forward, we're nice and square. Melting into the lunge so we can feel the stretch over the hip flexors and the quad. Really good if you've been sitting for a while. If you'd like to add on, you can take the same arm as the leg is back up to your ear. And exhaling, coming back into the tall kneeling. And down into tabletop. I believe we're going to come into our downward dog. I'll just check and see. Oh, good thing I looked. Coming back into tabletop. We're going to come into our thread the needle. So inhaling the left arm up towards the sky. Exhaling, thread the needle, the hand near the wrist, shoulder towards the ground, and face towards the ground or the block. We're not going to stay, so inhaling back up, we'll do 3 on each side. Rotating the spine. Letting the breath float you and bring you back down. At the end of the exhale here, pause and retain that exhale for a count of 2. Inhaling back into table. And then the other side, inhaling the right arm up, exhaling into the thread the needle. Following your breath, the inhale floats, the exhale takes you back down. At the end of this exhale, pause for a count of 2. Inhaling back into table. So from here, let's tuck our toes under, push the floor away, take our bottom back and up, keeping the knees bent, lengthening the spine from the fingers to the tailbone, and then lengthening out one leg. And then the other. Back up onto the toes, taking the bottom backs, pushing through the arms, and taking both heels in the direction of the floor. Breathing into that long back body. Inhaling from heart to navel center, exhaling from navel center to heart. On your next inhale, inhaling forward into plank, coming up onto the toes. You can go down onto your knees if you like, or send the heels away from you. On the exhale, exhaling into downward dog. And walk the hands and the feet towards each other. Hanging in a forward fold, letting your knees be as soft as you like. Rounding down in the back. Nice loose neck, long neck. Relaxed jaw, relaxed forehead. Where can I soften? So inhale the elbows up towards the ribs and coming up into flat back. Press the feet away and inhale all the way up to standing. Coming into Tadasana. Noticing the ground beneath your feet, the evenness or unevenness of the surface. Noticing and appreciating how we can stand on uneven ground, coming in and out of balance, and how the body is so well suited to coming in and out of balance. Great appreciation for these feet, ankles, knees, legs, hips, all these bones and muscles, tendons, the whole physical body. For all it is able to do in this moment. And let's give a little gratitude to the sun in a half sun salute. So we'll inhale, arms up overhead. Exhaling, forward fold. peek up. Hands can come to shins or knees, coming up to a flat back, and fold back down. Bend the knees slightly, inhale up through flat back, arms come out to the side, and the swan dives, flies back up. Exhale, namaste. And 2 more times. Swan flies up and swan dives down. Peek up. Fly, float back down. Bend the knees. Inhale up through flat back and all the way up. Namaste. We do get swans in this pond in the spring. It's absolutely beautiful. Last one. Halfway. Flat back. All the way up. Namaste. Bring the hands into serve the tea. We'll exhale, bend the knees and take the seat back a little bit. On the next exhale, so inhale from the heart center to the navel. Exhale from the navel center to the heart as you sit a little more. Inhale, heart center to navel. Exhale, navel center to heart as maybe you sit a little more, stay where you are. Maybe arms come out in front, up by your ears. On the inhale, coming back up. And the exhale, going back in. 2 more times. Staying when you come into your chair, wherever it's right for you today, for 2 breaths. Breathing in from the heart to the navel. Breathing out from the navel center to the heart center. On an inhale, coming back up. Paying attention to shoulders, so hands can be behind your back or legs are down beside your legs. Or inhaling, left arm up to the ear. Exhaling over to the right. Maybe looking up towards the sky. And here I see all my garlic hanging. It may not be in your photo, so I'll show you at the end. On the inhale, inhaling back up. Exhaling into Tadasana. Right arm finds where it wants to go. Exhaling over to the left. Inhaling back up. Nice open side body. Breathing into that spaciousness. So even when we are thinking about this midline of energy, as the wave of the breath comes from the heart down to the navel center, exhaling from the navel back to the heart, we can also notice the expansion at the ribs, the side ribs, the back heart, the belly. So the whole torso, breathing with each breath. Let's take a step forward with our right foot. Left foot's going to come back behind us. And you can start, pause in Warrior One, or you can come up onto your back toes into a high lunge. If you're in the high lunge, the heel is reaching away. The thigh is lifting up. And your front femur is pushing back as your left hip is trying to come forward. And coming in to serve the tea. Opening the shoulders. Or opening the chest, opening the heart. You can give your shoulders a little roll and then pause where it's right for you. Many different arm postures here. Inhaling, arms open behind you. Inhaling into the big W, goddess arms, nice and wide, as if the breeze is opening the hands back, the thumbs rotating back. Or if you like, inhaling up into a beach ball or temple. Once you find your breath or your arm posture, we're going to be here 3 more breaths. And really think about inhaling from the heart to the navel center back to the heart. At the bottom of the exhale, pause for a count of 2 or 4. Last breath here. Release the hands. Inhale the foot forward. Pause. Stepping back with the right foot. Landing in Warrior One, which is a narrower stance, or landing in a lunge ready pose with the heel up. Sending the heel away from the chest. Front femur pushing back, back hip coming forward, heel and hip reaching in opposite directions. Serve the tea. Maybe this is perfect for you to be. Find your stability. On the exhale, we're gathering our energy in, exhaling from the navel center to the heart center. On the inhale, noticing that expansion. If you choose. On an inhale, bringing the arms into a nice big W. If you choose, taking the hands into a different posture. Goalpost, beach ball, steeple. Find your pose. 3 more breaths. Pausing at the end of the exhale for a count of 2 or 4. At the end of the exhale, releasing the hands and inhaling, stepping forward and pausing in Tadasana. We're going to use the chair pose to help release the low back and any tightness or asymmetry that we might have discovered there. So coming into a high chair with your hands on your thighs. On the exhale, taking the hands down towards your knees, your calves, or your ankles, allowing your head to round down if that's comfortable for you. On the inhale, lift the elbows, the upper back, coming into a flat back. Exhale, folding back over. Lift with the upper back, shoulder blades and elbows. Release back down. 2 more times. And as you come down this time, pausing in the down. So at this point, you're really in a chair pose so that your thighs are holding up your torso. You're being supported here. Knees as bent as is right for you.
And then on the next few exhales, we'll begin to slowly straighten the legs just a little bit. Let the head hang. On each exhale, as you exhale from the navel center to the heart center, perhaps your legs straighten a little, keeping the chest and the belly, the thighs, connected with the thighs. And when you find where you can stay connected in that forward fold, pausing and breathing here. On your exhale, coming back down into chair. Inhaling up to that half forward fold. Pressing into the feet and coming to standing. Resting in Tadasana. So this time, let's take a step back with our left foot into Warrior One pose. So the feet are not on the same plane. They're about hip width apart. Toes of the back left foot pointed out to the side. Front knee will bend. Inhale, arms in to serve the T. And on an inhale, arms just out behind you a little bit. Here we're going to inhale, come up onto our back toes. We hinge forward, straightening that front knee. It can have a nice little bend in it. Staying here in this version of Warrior Three, or every time you exhale, gathering in the energy into the core, into the center, and maybe lifting that back foot off the floor. Finding your Warrior Three balancing pose today. And knowing that we always are coming in and out of balance, standing on stable or unstable ground. So finding where the pose works for you. Sending the heel away from the head and breathing. On an exhale, standing back up, left foot beside the right, and pausing once again. Stepping back with the right foot into Warrior One pose. Hello, Matt. Hands in to serve the T, finding your strength and stability. It's always yogi's choice, so you know you can stay in any pose, come out of any pose at any time that's right for you, or not do it at all. So noticing the stability here, the connection with the earth through the feet. Connection with the universe through the breath, the expansiveness. On an inhale, take your hands out to the side, or perhaps it's easier for you to have your hands on your waist or by your hips. Inhaling up onto your back toe, exhaling, gathering in, so bringing all the energy into your midline. And with each exhale, hinging forward a little more, letting that toe come off the floor or not, sending the heel away from the head, letting the body find its hinge. Coming back down. We have a nice little breeze here, and I started thinking, oh, the breeze is blowing me over. Well, that's a good way to lose balance in a standing pose. Enjoy whatever breezes are in your day today. And standing in Tadasana. Noticing connection through the feet, expansion through the body. Breathing in from the heart center to the navel center. Breathing out from the navel center to the heart center. So let's come into a wide stance on the mat. Taking the heels behind the toes and having the hands on the waist. We'll exhale, folding forward into a flat back. As you inhale, finding your length here, the crown and the tailbone moving in opposite directions. Exhaling from the navel center to the heart, find a little more hinge. Each inhale, noticing the length. Each exhale, noticing the hinge. As your head becomes lower than your heart or lower than your hips, you may want to move your arms down the body to the legs or to the mat. Will be 3 more breaths here in this wide leg forward fold. On an inhale, inhale up to a flat back, bringing the heels in slightly, rotating opening the knees to rotate out, bringing the hands to the thighs, and inhale up to a flatter back. So this is going to be our inhale pose, and our exhale pose is going to hinge back over into the fold where you can straighten your knees, bringing your hands to your ankles if you like, or keeping them up just below the knees. Inhale into the squat, and exhale into the fold. And this time when you come into the squat, come up and stay in, so our hands will come up onto our thighs, and you may want to reposition your feet, moving your heels a little in or out, making sure that the middle of the knee is in the same trajectory as the middle toe. You can have your hands on your thighs and just help open them out, either by pressing into the hands on the outside of the thighs or giving them a gentle invitation to open out. Letting the bottom sink and sit, finding your high squat. Rolling the shoulder blades back, letting the chest be nice and open, breathing in from the heart center to the navel center, breathing out from the navel center to the heart center. And on the next inhale, we're going to press into our feet, inhale up into 5-point star. Really noticing and appreciating your expansiveness, all the space you can create here, taking up your full space. We'll move a few times in and out from goddess to star. So on your exhale, bending at the elbows, bending at the knees, coming into your goddess. Pausing at the bottom of the exhale, inhaling star. Retain. Breathing in. 2 more times. Pausing in star. And on an exhale, releasing the hands and heel toeing the feet back in together. Pausing into Tadasana. Let's use downward dog or half sun salute to come into a downward dog and make our way down onto our mat into tabletop. So coming near the front of your mat, inhaling, swan flies up. Exhaling, swan dives down. Peek up. Forward fold. Bend the knees slightly. Inhale, elbows, chest, arms, and body up. Exhale, namaste. One more time. Peek up, and when you come down into the forward fold, pausing here. Stepping back with one foot and then the other. Pushing the earth away with your hands to bring your bottom back and the head framed by the arms. Bending at the knees and really lengthening in the back body, opening the heart center. And then allowing the feet to come towards the floor, connecting with the earth. Inhaling forward into plank, sending the heels away or coming down onto your knees, hugging the upper arms together. And exhaling down, knees down into tabletop. So earlier we did the thread the needle. Well, this is the opposite to thread the needle. So wag the left foot out to the side and take the right foot down to the middle of your mat, tucking your toes under. Bringing the left hand into the middle of the mat right underneath your nose and the right hand onto your hip. Inhaling the right shoulder, elbow, and hip towards the sky. This is option one. Option two is taking the right hand up to the sky. Option three is as you exhale, playing with lifting that back leg. And there's something wrong with my alignment here with my arms, so I need to find where do I have my alignment so I can lift that leg. Reaching out like 5-point star in all directions. And on an exhale, toe down, hand down, knee down. We'll go back towards child. Pausing and breathing into the spaciousness in the back body. And on an inhale, coming back up into tabletop, wagging the right foot off the mat, taking the left toes down to the middle of the mat, taking the right arm into the middle of the mat, and on an inhale, inhaling the left hip, elbow, and shoulder to the sky. So finding your 3 points, hand, knee, and toe, so you have your stability. Then choosing to inhale and float the left arm higher if you like. Exhale, gathering up the energy all along the midline, along the core, and perhaps lift that leg, maybe sending the heel away from the head. Pausing and breathing. On an exhale, toe down, hand down, knee down. Inhaling, puppy dog tilt. Exhaling, Halloween cat. 2 more times. As you're in the Halloween cat here at the exhale, pressing the floor away and taking your tailbone back towards the seat, towards the feet, the head towards the mat. Keeping your arms outstretched, bringing them back by your thighs. Softening into your child. Finding a pose and breathing here. Thinking about our breath. Breathing in from the heart center to the navel center. Breathing out from the navel center to the heart center. The front body is very compressed. So noticing where you feel the expansion of the breath. Perhaps at the back of the heart, the back of the navel. On an inhale, we're going to come up, transition through seated over onto our back with our knees bent to the sky. Arms out to T, and feet about hip width apart, not as wide as your mat, about straight down from shoulders to hips to ankles. On an exhale, exhaling the knees over to the right, head looks gently left. Letting that left palm turn face up. Pausing and breathing into this twist, inviting that upper hip to be nice and light and the lower hip to be heavy into the earth. On an inhale, head and knees float back up to center. Exhaling over the other way. Knees left, head right, right palm facing up. Pausing and breathing. Noticing here. Noticing areas of the body that are heavy, areas that are light. Expanding, contracting. Inhaling back up to center and bring the feet and the knees together. So you can keep them on the floor or you can take the feet off the floor, paying attention to how your body wants to twist once again. So going into a second twist, feet and knees together, exhaling knees over to the right, head looks left, feet on the floor or feet off the floor, knees in towards the chest. Making this your class, your twist. Perhaps putting blocks underneath your knees so the legs are supported. On an inhale, floating back up. Exhaling in the opposite direction. Exploring where the body wants to go on this side. Then letting the breath do the work. On an inhale, floating the head and knees to center. Bringing the feet to the floor and the knees to the sky. And then just taking them a few inches apart. Hands down beside the body in bridge ready pose. Yogi's choice, you may want to go up and down, floating in and out of bridge 3 times. Or I'll lead you in going up and holding the bridge.
So pressing into the feet, pressing into the hands, pressing into the shoulder blades. On the inhale, floating the body up. On the exhale, exhaling from the navel center to the heart center. Pause at the bottom of the exhale. Inhaling from the heart center to the navel center. Exhaling from the navel center to the heart center. Retain for a count of 2. Last breath here, inhaling from heart to navel. Easy breath, easy wave-like motion. Exhaling navel center to heart. Inhaling in place. Exhaling, releasing to the earth. When the body arrives, allow it to wiggle, squiggle, move, get connected, and pause. Letting go of all the muscles that have been working. Letting the body breathe itself. And choosing to do any finishing poses that might be right for you. Knees in for a hug, circling the knees, circling in opposite directions. Any of the poses that are helping you release. Come into a comfortable pose for Shavasana when you're ready. That may be knees supported on each other with the feet on the floor, or perhaps legs out long along the mat. Arms slightly away from the body, or resting on your belly. No hurry to get here. Finishing up whatever posture seems right for you, and then coming into your Shavasana. Noticing the whole plane of contact between the body and the earth. Noticing the body, or the earth, supporting the body here. Perhaps noticing a sense of heaviness, maybe areas in the body that feel heavy as they melt into the support of the earth. Areas of the body that feel light as they expand and soften into the air. Areas that feel solid, connected, and those that feel light, expansive, have a sense of a breeze or the air on the skin. Noticing areas of discomfort, tightness, tension, and areas of ease, spaciousness, softness. Noticing areas with no sensation. Perhaps noticing external sensations of air temperature, clothes on skin, ants if you happen to be outside, grass, and internal sensations. External sounds, and internal sounds. Noticing thoughts, judgments, where the mind likes to go when it wanders off, and gently inviting it back to this awareness of the body lying here, breathing, aware of sensations, aware of the body, breathing in to the heart center, expanding down to the navel center in an easy wave-like motion. Exhaling from the navel center back up to the heart center. Letting go of all the peripheral awarenesses, and coming to this one pointed focus of the sensation of the breath from the heart center to the navel center, from the navel center to the heart center. If you'd like to add on, you can pause for a count of 2 or 3 at the end of each exhale. And releasing the focused pranayama, letting the body breathe itself at the end of your next exhale. Inviting the mind eye to continue to watch the breath, connecting the heart center and the navel center. Our center of moving forward in the world with our center of care and compassion, our sense of home and safety, peace and tranquility, connectedness.
staying here as long as you like. Thank you for joining me in yoga today. Namaste. Jabiguan. I promise to show you my garlic. So if you used to watch The Friendly Giant, then we'll look up, look way up into the rafters. And there it is. My garlic supply for the year. Thank you for joining me for these 4 sessions, summer sessions. I look forward to seeing you in the fall, inside or out, coming back in September when Rideau Lakes Yoga starts up again. I hope you have a lovely summer. Take care.